Hello and welcome to our presentation, Lanteria, HR built on the SharePoint platform. My name is Mike Ament and I'll be presenting today. During this presentation, I am going to be recording this and it will be available later on our YouTube channel. So as a result, your microphones are going to be muted. I will be taking questions at the end of the presentation via the live chat window. I'm pointing to it, but if you look at your screen, you'll see there's a little chat window there. Put your questions in there and I will answer them at the end of the presentation. Alrighty, let us begin. So, a little bit about Lanteria. We were founded in 2006, so we're not a new company. We have clients in over 40 countries worldwide, and we're the leading developer of HR resource, talent, performance, and learning management software designed specifically for the SharePoint platform. Now, Lanteria is a mature HR solution with best practices already baked into our product. This provides you on day one with an enterprise class solution with over 12 years of HR industry expertise. We deliver innovative, integrated solutions that include easy to use automated workflows, which are designed to boost our clients' productivity. Let's talk about why HR professionals choose SharePoint. Number one, collaboration is really big. Today's HRIS software solutions are not just for HR anymore, but designed for your entire company. SharePoint is a highly collaborative environment, sometimes called a portal, which delivers or shares information between employees, their managers, as well as enabling self-service and automated processes that can free up valuable time for mission-critical work. Number two, tons of storage. With its built-in document management repository, SharePoint is a great place to store and share your company policies, procedures, employee documents, and almost any other company content. Number three, personalization. It's extremely important to deliver the right content to the right people in your organization. Our role-based system allows employees, their managers, and your HR team access to and can also restrict information from unauthorized users. SharePoint provides the best of both security and personalization. Number four, being able to customize. Each company is unique with their own specific goals. Many other systems force you to align your goals with their pre-built design, but with Lanteria and SharePoint, you can customize the system to align exactly with your business workflows. Number five, integration with Microsoft Office. It's a great benefit when your HR solution can be integrated with your business tools. Now imagine all your employee interviews, absences, vacations, schedules, and training classes automatically being populated to your company calendar and each employee's individual Outlook calendar. Microsoft Office, Power BI, Microsoft SharePoint, and Lanteria are all designed to work together. Number six, security. Security is absolutely critical for sensitive HR data. You can create permissions based on your employee's role, group, or position in your organizational structure. You have a very granular system-level security control. And lastly, portal access anywhere. With SharePoint, you have HR portal access at any place, on any device, whether it's your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. We built our Lanteria solution on the SharePoint platform to take advantage of all these functionalities and with the ability to customize your application, and of course, scalability is also part of the SharePoint platform, allowing you to grow and modify the system at any time in the future. Let's talk about the benefits from the SharePoint standpoint from the experts. Number one, infrastructure. SharePoint's role in the organization is expanding as a connected portal for collaboration and information exchange. Today, Office 365 is almost everywhere, and Active Directory integration, or AD, allows you to share information between SharePoint, Office 365, and Lanteria, allowing your users a unified platform for your IT team to manage. and it provides a single point for your employees to log in, what they call single sign-on. So employees log in once, they have access to SharePoint, Office 365, and Lanteria, and your IT team has only one place to manage, which is very convenient. Number 3, support. SharePoint is very reliable, customizable, and extremely easy to support. Number 4, like we talked about customizations earlier. Like we said, each company is unique, and a lot of systems will force you to align their goals with their pre-built system or their design. But with Lanteria and SharePoint, you can customize the system in-house with your own IT team to align exactly with your business workflow, saving you money and time. Number 5, we talked about integration with Microsoft products, and of course, we integrate with the entire Microsoft stack, which includes such tools as Power BI, Microsoft Office, and of course, SharePoint. Again, of course, security. Security is critical for HR data. You can create permissions based on roles, groups, permissions at the organizational structure level. Plus, you also have the SharePoint level security and permissions based on the SharePoint integration with Active Directory, and of course, very granular system level control at the SharePoint database level as well. So it gives you unparalleled security for the system. Let's talk about why managers choose SharePoint, or sometimes called how to convince your boss. Number 1, analytics. Making good business decisions begins with quality information presented in an easily digestible format. With our built-in report generator, getting your executives the information they need is a snap, and with integration with Power BI, data analytics gets even easier. Number 2, employee performance. Being able to create, monitor individual team and company goals along with KPI metrics to validate your company's overall performance plan is critical in today's environment. Number 3, ROI. Labor costs are the number 1 business expense, and being able to reduce this cost provides a big return in productivity, automation, error reduction, compliance, and employee satisfaction, and of course, retention. Talking about retention, being able to retain top talent, number 4. Good communications, clear expectations, providing honest feedback, providing recognition for good work, and allowing for career path planning supports higher employee retainment. And number 5, employee satisfaction. Increased engagement, recognition, skill development, honest evaluations all contribute to increase in job satisfaction. And lastly, collaboration. Being able to share this information with your entire company, SharePoint provides you with a portal which delivers or shares information between employees, their managers, as well as enabling self-service and automated processes that can free up HR's valuable time for providing other mission-critical HR work. We get a lot of questions about integration with Office 365, and essentially, Lanteria can authenticate with Office 365. As I said earlier, can provide a single sign-on experience for your users to your HR portal. This data can be integrated with Lanteria, and of course, the end users, they essentially sign on with their Office 365 credentials, and they have access to both SharePoint and access to Lanteria with one single sign-on. Let's talk about the application. It's based on several modules and is designed to manage the entire life cycle of your organization's workforce. Starting off with our core HR. There you go. This is our human resource database that allows you to manage your company's entire organization by defining and managing relationships between departments, teams, and employees. The time and attendance module allows you to easily manage your company's absence policies, track leave, and register time spent on projects and activities. The recruiting module is a human resource solution that automates the entire recruitment process to ensure that you hire and properly onboard the best candidates. Our performance management module helps you streamline your employee performance and appraisal process, making it quicker and easier to track, quantify, and rate productivity for each employee. Our learning management module automates your learning and employee assessment process by planning, delivering, and measuring the results of your targeted training. These modules can be deployed individually or combined to create a complete HRIS solution. So let me switch screens here, and I'm going to jump into the actual Lanteria application and show you Lanteria. So here's the main dashboard. As you can see, this is a web-based application. I'm accessing it through my browser. You can use any browser that you choose. Works on a PC or Mac, desktop, laptop, tablet, and phone. We support both Android and Apple, iOS, and the Android operating platform. The system itself is a role-based system. So depending upon the role that you have assigned to the users, they're going to be given different levels of permission. In this demo system, I have an HR administrator who can see everything. I have a manager who can only see the employees who report directly to them. And of course, I have the employee view, which is the self-service portal, which allows the employees to log in, update the records, see their own information, and only their own information. The main dashboard is interactive, so as I mouse over it, you'll see little flyout windows giving me the details of the data. And on the left-hand side, we have activities or hot links, which shows the administrator things that need to be addressed. So in this situation today, I've got 9 people absent, 16 people are going to be absent, and I have 15 people waiting for my approval. There's some missing documents and expiring documents. There's 1 help desk request, and 36 people want to take learning courses. So you can see here, this kind of guides the HR administrator's day. Instead of having to look at emails, voicemails, sticky notes, to-do lists, everything is in one place. And of course, clicking on any one of these links bring up the underlying data. So if I want to drill down and find out, for instance, who's missing documents, I can click on a link, pop that link open. And here we can see the people who are missing their driver's licenses, for instance. Now, this information is presented to the administrator and also presented to the individual people so that when they log in, they'll see that there's some documents missing and they'll be prompted to upload those documents as well. So we cover this from both the admin and the end user standpoint. The individual modules are broken down by function. We have our core HR, which is our database, our time and attendance module, compensation. This is part of the core HR module, just broken out into a separate tab for convenience. Our recruiting module, performance management, learning management, succession planning is part of our performance management package. It's also broken off for convenience. And of course, our reporting engine. And I'll touch on all these during our presentation today. One thing I will point out for the for the SharePoint administrators, we do give you access to the back end of the system. So by going to the settings button, you can go into the site contents and actually edit the site contents, change the information in the lists, and actually change the way Lanteria works. So it gives you the ability to edit fields, drop-downs, add additional information, change the way Lanteria works, all on your own without having to hire an expensive consultant to go through and make modifications for you. Of course, if there's some modifications that you'd like us to do for you that is outside of the configuration area, we are the developers of this application. We'd be more than happy to provide assistance in that area as well. So for the modules, we have our core HR module. Here we have our main employee database where we store the employee information. We can use that to create an organizational structure. This is a setup area for jobs and positions. This is where we set up our positions and provide linkages between the positions and the roles and the requirements for each job in the organization. We do have an approval management system, which allows you to have an employee make a request, and this works across all the modules. So if an employee wants to take a learning course, ask for a raise, wants to increase their headcount, they can fill out an approval process, and then that will be sent to the manager for approval. We have a workflow area or process where you can create automated workflows to automate your day, and a document repository to store documents and share with the employees. The reporting module allows you to create all types of company reports, and I'll touch on these real briefly. So in the employee area, this is our main database. I can find an employee very easily by just doing a keyword search. The system will go out and find certain keywords. I can open up that person's file here, and I can see all the specific details of this employee. You'll notice that this employee card is linked to all the modules. So from one location, I can look at their learning details. I can look at their performance details, look at their compensation, look at their enhanced details, any dependents, personal notes, grievances, skills, emergency contacts. And of course, we've added a sensitive data area to comply with the GDPR and PII requirements around they're being implemented around the world. So this information is strictly encrypted. So only people with certain access rights can see this specific data. While I'm in this view, I can also look at employee information by different views. I can see by role, alphabetically, by org unit, or I can pull up the entire employee chart. I can do some filtering if I want to see specific information about the employees. I can break it down by different groups. Or if I want to see the entire chart, just click View, and here's the employee chart for the organization. Each of these links are still clickable. I can click on them and pull details out, and I can also export this out to a PDF if I want to go to a meeting and have a one-page document. So it's quite convenient for doing a headcount review or discussing organization structure. You can also see the organization as an org structure as well. It's very similar to this. It just shows the hierarchy of the organization. The approval system allows you to request, in this case, there's some absences here, but you can request different things from their manager. The manager will receive a notification via email and also receive a notification on their desktop as well. I click the approve, and I can then go ahead and review that. I can approve it, I can reject it, or I can put some notes in here and send that back to the employee who can then review it and then resubmit it, and then I can finally approve that. So it's quite convenient and easy way to communicate. And of course, everything you can see here is time and date stamped. So when I make a request and when I approve it, we have a record and we can run a report that shows you when the request was made, when the request was approved, who sent it, and who approved it. And that can be used for compliance purposes. Our workflow section allows you standard types of workflows. We have onboarding, offboarding, and probations, which are standard. But the real power of the system comes into play when you can create your own workflows and design your own automation, again, without any programming requirements. So we use a template process here. If I click in this template area, I can see there's a bunch of different templates. I can create my own template very easily, or I can work with a template that I currently have. And by opening up this template, I can see that there is individual steps. This happens to be an auto start when a new employee is hired. So that means that this template will begin working when I hire somebody, and it will follow a specific workflow. And here are the different workflow action items. You can see they're assigned to the manager, assigned to the employee, assigned to different people. There's a starter, there's a local HR person. And if I want to make a change here, I just click the little pencil button here. And I fill out the form. So if I want to make a change, maybe I want to do this background check and move it to step number 2. I want this done in 5 days. Instead of opening up a document, I want this assigned as a task. And then I'm going to have the starter, who's the person who starts new employees, do this task. And the system will automatically update that. So there, that background check is now in this section here. So the system will begin doing these steps, making the assignments. And then as an admin, you can see all of the current workflows that are currently underway right here at a very high level. You can open up any one of these and see where we are in the process, how many processes there are, how many are completed, and where we are in the workflow. And if you want to step in, you want to maybe upload a document or do some of these tasks, as an admin, you have the rights to do that. It's very simple. You just drag and drop a file here. And then the system will then mark that as completed and move on to the next step. So here you're managing basically exceptions here. The stuff that is completed falls off, and the processes that are still open, you can now manage effectively, again, eliminating the needs for extra tools. So it does speed up your process, and this is automatic. And lastly, our document repository. This allows you to store documents in different types of buckets. These documents can be open documents where employees can come in and see specific types of details. Maybe they want to download a policy manual, or maybe they want to get some forms. They can go in here, they can download these documents and have them without having to send an email or make a phone call or stop by HR to ask for specific forms. So again, it does speed up interaction with the employees. It gives them the information that they need, basically with a couple of screen clicks. And lastly, our reporting engine. I'll cover this toward the end. We have a report section, but each module has their own reporting sections as well. And I'll go through the different reports and show you how to create a custom report here as well. So that's the core HR module. Attached to the core HR is our compensation module. This provides details such as a salary sheet, which lets you see all the expenses of the organization, how much money you're spending on the employees, fully loaded, they call it fully burdened costs. We can do salary reviews, which is a managerial function, which allows managers to get together, evaluate different employee roles and functions in the organization and decide merit increases, cost of living increases, and apply them across the organization. We can track and apply bonuses. The bonus report does talk to the performance management system. So when people reach a certain level of performance, you can send this information to the bonus report. You can then run a report and then send this to accounting for processing. And of course, we can manage employee benefits as well. So it allows employees to come in, select the benefits that they choose, and then this will also run a report for you, which you can send to your benefits administrator. The salary sheet shows all the costs of the organization itself. So you can see by employees, quite a bit of data here. I'm not going to go through all of this. You can also go in here and customize this data, add fields, remove fields. But essentially, this now becomes a really big spreadsheet. And when we apply this spreadsheet to our reporting engine, we can actually slice and dice this data and come up with some very interesting reports, especially if management wants a specific report. You can go in and create that report in just about 5-10 minutes. And lastly, we also manage ranges and grades within the organization. So after you've done your salary reviews, you set the ranges, you set the grades. We can actually use that information to calculate the range grades. $. They'll punch in here, and there's a specific midpoint, above the midpoint, and below the midpoint. Also, for the multinationals out there, we do support multi-currency and multi-country as well. Our time and attendance module allows you to set up out-of-office calendars to see who's in the office and who's not, set up absence plans, run absence reports, timesheet reports, and absence lists. The absence plans can be set up at a very high level, and they can be done at the company level. You can also do it at the employee level, maybe you have union, non-union, exempt, non-exempt. You can set up different plans. When an employee is brought into the plan, essentially you create the plans at the beginning and apply the calculation rules that are required for that plan to work. Add the additional leave, sick leave information, additional leaves, and once this is in place, actually I'll show you this from the employee standpoint, it's much easier. When an employee is hired, they'll be assigned a specific plan, and when I go into the employee information, if I want to look at my absences here. Oh, by the way, I just changed from admin to the employee view, so now we're in a self-service mode here. So I can see the employee details here. I can see this employee happens to be on the Canadian plan, but I can see how much time is available, how much time is booked, and how much leave balance is available. And it looks like this employee owes some money to the company. We can see all the different requests that have come in and all the approval things. If the employee wants to take time off, they simply hit a button. They can register a vacation request, ask for time off, register time that they took off sick, fill out the form, hit submit. This will be routed to their manager for approval. They can also add an acting person as well. So if they're going to be out for an extended period of time, they can suggest or recommend an acting person to take over day-to-day functions in their absence. While we're here, I'll also show you the timesheets as well. So the timesheets can be configured many different ways. A lot of organizations do timesheets different ways. A lot of companies will use a project base where you have a project number here or type of project, and then it will go out and find the activities for that specific project. You can do the standard clock in, clock out, or if you know you've worked 4 hours on that project today and then worked 2 hours in that project, you can save those changes and the system will automatically update that for you. We also integrate with third-party time clock devices where we can pull information in. We can do third-party integrations and essentially allow employees to swipe cards. We'll collect the information, then run the reports and send this over to the accounting system. Our recruiting management system is a full applicant tracking system. It allows you to create job openings, manages a candidate database, and allows you to schedule interviews directly from within the system. In the job opening section here, we can see the different types of job openings that are available. I can take these job openings and I can post them to a website, which is basically an application that comes with Lanteria. And of course, this is your career portal, which would be placed on your website, and of course, skinned to match your company's website colors. But then an applicant can come to your website. They can click on a link if they're interested in a specific job. The link will open up and we'll present them with a workflow. This workflow essentially will allow them to submit information to the organization. And then once this information is submitted, basically we'll go through the application process where you can log in, or if you haven't logged in before, you'll create a new account, do the legal stuff, and then you'll begin your workflow. And then, of course, the workflow will go through multiple steps. You can collect personal information, skill information, upload documents, give them a questionnaire. Once that is completed and then they hit submit, it will then be brought down into the system. And I can then look at the specific jobs and see who's made application. I can also set up job questions so that we ask all the applicants the same questions, set up interview stages, and then I can go ahead and look at the candidates who've applied for that specific job. There's the different candidates. Notice we can do some ranking here. So based on how they answered questions, I can see that this person had a weighted score of 4 over John that has a weighted score of 1. So maybe Bruce is a higher level type of a person for better fit for that job, and maybe we'll interview them first. If you get hundreds of resumes, you can do what they call batch actions, where I can go ahead and select people. I can generate a letter and essentially say, thanks for submitting your resume. We're going to review it, push a button, and 100 letters go out. I can also add people to short lists, manage interviews right from this application as well. I can store notes. I can store files. And right from the application, I can open up the schedule interview window. And here, by filling this window out, I can select the interviewer, pick a location, room, or type of interview, whether it's personal or phone, face-to-face. And I can also go into the scheduling assistant, which will connect me to your Office 365 and allows me to look at your free busy calendar. So if I want to schedule a meeting for a specific recruiter on Thursday at 2 o'clock, I can look at the schedule, see if that recruiter is free, and go ahead and book it right from the system. So we eliminate the up and back. Is 2 o'clock on Thursday or 1 o'clock on Friday better for you, and wait for a response. We just put on their calendar automatically and it's done. When it's time to work with a specific employee, again, we have the card system here. I open up the employee's card. I can then look at their complete history, see any documents, work with skills, present job offers, and of course, create the employee from here. If I click this button, all the information that I've collected here is then brought over to the core HR and deposited, and now we create an employee. And of course, all the integration from moving from one module to the other is seamless within the system. So it allows you to essentially post a job, recruit for the job, interview that job person, collect their information, make a hiring decision, and then transfer them to core HR and make them a full employee. Our performance management system allows you to create performance reviews, set up organizational goals and KPIs, work with specific competencies that you want to work with. We do 360 feedbacks, which is your peer review, which allows you to do a peer review process. And of course, the performance reviews, again, they're all template-based. So by clicking this performance review area here, I can start a round, or I can start an ad hoc round of a specific type of review. You can see there's different types of reviews here. You're not limited to your annual review anymore. I can do 90 days. I can do project reviews. I can do qualification cards. I can do coaching sessions. I can do check-ins. These are all specific templates, and each template has a different type of questions and workflow. So it's much easier to see these from the employee standpoint. So when an employee sits down with their manager, they'll go through and set up their goals. And these goals can be aligned with the overall company goals, with the specific org unit or regional goals that they want to apply, and of course, personal goals. Once we got the goals set up, then we can go in and we can then do our performance review. We find when it's not being used. Wrong button. And when it's not being used, there's an annual employee review. So I'd open up the specific review round right here. In the review round, we'll see there's specific questions or sections. We can also create a specific workflow. So in this review round, we have an employee review. When the employee finishes the review, we'll go on to the manager, and then of course over to HR for finalization. You can put instructions in the section. The employee will come in and make the assessment. You can do drop downs. You can set these metrics up to your criteria. And then move on to the next section. Once all the sections are done, the employee will then go up here, hit the green submit button, and then the review will go on to the next section of the review process. These are template-based, so depending on the type of reviews you want, you can create many different types of templates and different types of review forms. They'll make this very convenient. You can use this for reviews, for surveys, for communication, for essentially collecting information throughout the organization. And again, very convenient, very easy. Our next module is our learning management system, which allows you to create a learning catalog. You can organize this catalog into a specific curricula, assign a training schedule so employees can see when trainings are going to be made available. We can automatically assign and manage certificates. So if the employee needs a certificate to do their job, they can take the quiz or take the course that gives them the certificate. Once they pass it, the certificate is going to be automatically applied. You can set that certificate up to expire in, say, 12 months. Well, they'll get a notification that says come in and take the course. They pass the course. Certificate is now issued for another 12 months. They failed the course. We send a note to the manager saying their certificate is expired and they're no longer qualified to maintain this job proficiency level. We have a quiz builder built in the system, which allows you to create quizzes and apply those quizzes. The system will automatically grade them. And of course, there's training requests where an employee can ask for a training course. The manager will receive that request and then approve that. This is very handy if you're trying to maintain costs, because a lot of training courses will cost money, and you don't want everybody signing up for them. You just want to kind of meter that out based on who should be taking certain courses. The learning catalog. Let me open that up for you. We can organize this catalog by different categories. We can organize it by job roles. We can also organize it by specific competencies. We support classroom-based training. We support e-learning courses. We are compatible with SCORM. It allows you to create a SCORM course, any authoring tool that you prefer, or even buy courses and drop them in the system. We'll administer them and grade them. We can provide documents, any kind of uploadable document, spreadsheet to PDF, video. We support web links to outside services. And of course, the quiz builder is also linked in here as well. You can see some of the courses are marked that they require request, and other courses are going to be marked as being open where they can add directly to their plan. I can take the different courses, put them into a curricula, which allows you to organize your courses. So if this Lanteria HR Part 1 curricula has 4 bits of learning material in it, when I assign this one curricula, they're going to get 3 courses and a quiz automatically. So it's very convenient when you're doing track training or making sure that employees are selecting the right courses, because this basically gives them the courses they need for that specific job. The training schedule allows you to post the schedule where employees can come in. They can see what courses are being made available and when. And of course, you can see how many seats are available. When a course is full, the employees will then be put on a wait list for the next time that course is offered. And again, from the employee standpoint, they can come in, they can take a look at their development plan, their training requests, and peruse the learning catalog. So here we have their specific development plan. These can be applied to the employee by the managers, or the employees can come in and they can peruse the catalog and see the same catalog here, and then they can add a course directly to their plan if they desire. And of course, if a plan requires a request, this will automatically send it to the manager, asking for permission to take the specific course. Launching a course is easy. Just click the button, the course will launch. The system will then administer the course, walk the person through the different steps, and then grade that course. And of course, we have a quiz. Same thing, if they launch the quiz will begin and walk them through the quiz steps, and then of course, they'll be graded automatically as well. And lastly, our succession management system, which essentially allows you to set up specific career goals, organize career paths, set up specific talent pools. You can see talent pools, they're basically based on individual type talent you want to align. You can see performance competencies are marked here. You can see who the high performers are, and we highlight those in different colors so you can see the different people who are rising to the top in the organization. You can also use this to align for succession planning for key managers, where we essentially take the managers and we line them up. So we can see here who the current manager is, who the successors are, and I can pull up the specific details of this succession plan, and they essentially line them up by performance review to see standard to standard how they're performing. And finally, our reporting engine. Each module has their own reporting ability. So if I was to say go into here into my performance management system, I can look at my competency assessment report. And I can generate that report. And here's the competency assessment basically for all departments by all competency groups. But maybe I want to look at this report maybe by employee. So since, again, we're sitting on top of a big database, I can then slice and dice this data any way I want and see how our competencies are laid out. Maybe I want to look at maybe a specific competency group. Let's look at leadership, for instance. So here we can see who the leaders are. And if I want to refine this even more, I can actually do it maybe by org unit, maybe look at upper management and see who of my managers have the best leadership skills. So we can pretty much slice and dice the data any way I like. Our reports also support, go back 1 year here, give me some data in here. Topics as well. So if you had a spreadsheet here with hundreds of lines of data, you can very easily look at our graphs up here and get some ideas of trends or activities that may need some attention. And again, we also integrate with Office 3 with Power BI as well, which allows you to actually integrate this data set, pull out the data, and then essentially create your own dashboards, business analytics, and things like that. So again, for reporting, for compliance work, the tool is very robust in that area. And of course, we can't anticipate every single report you're going to need. So we have a custom report generator right here. You don't need to be a SQL expert to make this work. As a matter of fact, this is designed for HR administrators to utilize. Essentially put in the title of the report, pick the module that you want to report on, allow or basically select who's going to run that report. And then this filter will then basically walk you through the building of the report, where we essentially go through and we pick the fields we want to report on. And then the system will start building the report over here for you. So it's quite easy to do. And then we can filter it, group it, order it, and total it, and preview it, and save it. Anytime we run a report, we can save that and run that anytime. Here's what I did the other day. And I'll go out and generate the report whenever I want to. Here's a basic report I did the other day. We can export this out to a spreadsheet, Word document, or PDF. And lastly, our settings. Setting up Lanteria, we basically have a very straightforward data import structure. And if you ever decide to leave us in the future, we hope you don't, but we can allow you to take our data out. I've heard that some systems get data in and they don't allow it to come out, which is not, in our estimation, a good business model, but we'll let you take your data if you want to go. But we've been doing this for a number of years, again, since 2006, so our customers tend to stay with us. We do have some situations where companies get acquired and the acquiring company has another system and we need to export the data for that system, so that's why that's there. But the settings and configuration setup is quite straightforward. We integrate with a number of third-party applications. So out of the box, we integrate with Exchange, Office 365, LinkedIn, ADP, and DocuSign. And of course, all the settings are pretty straightforward and fairly easy to work with. If I wanted to make a change to, say, a performance review form, I can go into my performance review area. I've got a performance review designer right here. And again, no programming skills are required. Here is the different templates available. I could open up any specific template that I like. And you can see here, it's straightforward. Here's the different sections. I can add new sections, just a click of a button. Pick the section type I want to add, give it a name, and then fill out the details, who's going to fill it in, and then save. And it's just that straightforward. So again, this is designed as a business tool for HR administration. And lastly, I'll get real technical real quick. The site contents, this is for SharePoint administrators. These are the lists that make the system work. I can open up any one of these lists within the system itself here. And now I'm basically in SharePoint. I can make changes, drop downs, modify this. When I'm done modifying it, I can go back to my system and those changes will be implemented. And of course, you can also change the way the system looks. We can make this match to your company colors and logos. As a matter of fact, you can even go in here and remove the Lanteria logo and put your company logo in here. There's a logo area right here. And then you can drop your own logo in here. So this basically will become your HR portal with your company logo identity, and it becomes your company's go-to place for information and sharing. So let me just pop back over this presentation, and I got a couple of slides to go through, and then I'll take questions. So a little bit about how we work. We are extremely client-focused. We communicate very effectively. We plan. We meet our deadlines. We deliver easy and effective solutions. And of course, we're SharePoint technology experts. We basically automate complex HR processes and seamlessly integrate them into the SharePoint solution. We help our companies manage their entire organization from a single unified IT platform. Again, the technical side, we're compatible with SharePoint 2013 and 2016. That includes SharePoint Foundations. We've got integration with Office 365, Exchange, AD, Active Directory, SharePoint user profiles, etc. We integrate with a number of third-party applications. And of course, we're compatible with the entire Microsoft stack. That's for the non-technical people, that is the Microsoft products and integration with Microsoft tools. We have a number of case studies on our website. There's a URL at the bottom. You can follow that to review more. But basically, we have a bank that deployed HR Lanteria as a customized learning system. We replaced 3 other solutions. We reduced their training management overhead load by over 50%. If you convert that into money, that is a lot of money. We have an enterprise manufacturer that implemented performance reviews for over 3,000 employees in just 6 weeks. That's phenomenal for that type of company. And we have a beverage distributor that implemented Lanteria HR modules during 2 months, helping them reduce their overall workload of human resource team by 21%. And again, if you convert 21% savings of human resource time, that's a major savings of cost benefit to the organization. Let me pop over and open up the window so I can see your questions, and I'll just go through and start answering those. Okay, where'd my window go to? Give me a second here. Oh, there we go. There's my chat group. Okay, if you start dropping the information in, if you have any questions, go through and I will answer them as they start coming in. Okay, so the question on Office 365. And yes, we do integrate with Office 365. We essentially do a sync between Active Directory and Lanteria, so your users have a single sign-on. Here's a question on SharePoint Online. That's a great question. SharePoint Online is a product which is offered by Microsoft Office 365. It's basically a document repository. It's lacking a database, which Lanteria requires to run. So in order to utilize Lanteria, you need to have a SharePoint application and a SharePoint database to make it work, and of course a web server. So unfortunately, it does not work on that, but we do have some workarounds where we actually will sync to that application, and essentially we can set this up as a hosted solution to integrate with that. Here's a question on pricing. Okay, how much does it cost? That's also a good question. Lanteria is priced based on the number of modules that you're going to be utilizing, and the number of employees in your system. So let me put up my contact information here. There you go. And if you wanted to send me a email, tell me the modules that you're interested in and the number of employees, I'd be happy to provide a quotation, because since we have 5 individual modules and based on the number of employees, it's kind of hard to give you a quote over the phone, but I'll calculate it for you and send it to you. Okay, here's a question on scalability. So we really don't have any magic upper limit as far as how big SharePoint can support, how many employees. We've got a number of major organizations and multinationals that use SharePoint that have over 15,000 employees. Microsoft as a company has over 40,000 employees. So SharePoint can be scaled up. It just depends on the size of the server. And when we get to companies of that size, we can work with different server technology, load balancing. So there is no upper limit that we can't support. On the bottom, we start at 50 employees and go up from there. So we have a small business package for smaller companies, growing companies. We support up to 50 employees in that small business package. And then from there on up, we do individual licenses based on the number of employees. Okay. See some more questions come in. Give it a minute here. Okay, here's a question on payroll. Okay. Out of the box, Lanteria does not provide payroll services or actually integration with providers of insurance or insurance providers for open enrollment, but we do sync. So we are an ADP partner. We can connect directly to the ADP system, and we've also integrated with a wide variety of other type applications such as SAP, Dynamics, Great Plains, Oracle, things like that. So we can integrate and actually seamlessly send your data from Lanteria to those other platforms for payroll processing. Okay, I'll give it another minute. I don't see any new questions coming in, but looks like some people are typing, so give them a second to start typing, and we'll get those questions answered for you, everybody. While we're waiting, when this presentation is finished, we will be posting it on our YouTube channel, and we'll be sending out a link to that channel to all the registered attendees for this class. So just check your email afterwards, and you'll be able to see this once it gets posted up to the YouTube channel. Okay, I think that's it for today. I do thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, you can give me a call or send me an email. I'd be happy to answer. Thank you, and have a good afternoon.